Tuesday morning, Etonian did a very nice piece of work. He's never really been that much of a showy horse, but he worked well. He's on target for the Dewhurst. I think Tom Marquand's going to ride. And then Thursday morning, Chindit did an extremely good piece of work. Probably the best, one of the best pieces of work we've seen at Herridge for a lot of years. So we're hopeful both of them will run very well. But I think Dobbsy was particularly pleased with Chindit, and he had the choice. So although they both have a very good chance, and I don't want to separate them, I'm very happy with both of them going into the race.
What was it about Chindit's piece of work that was so...
He worked with two horses, rated 100, good handicappers, 5-year-olds, and worked extremely well for a 2-year-old. They should, not many 2-year-olds can go with them. They might work with them and be going better. He moved great. And he came on the grass. Both of them used a grass gallop, interestingly enough, which is always very useful before you go to a turf race. And it's not always possible, but in fairness to them, they both had a good gallop on turf before the big race.
And Chindit, is he a horse that before his Champagne Stakes he worked well? Is that a sign that he's in good form?
Yeah, he is. Although ground was pretty quick going into the Champagne Stakes, this ground, I don't think either of them are ground dependent. I think they're both going soft ground. It depends on the track. But very happy with both of them going into the race, and Chindit particularly so. His bit of work was pretty spectacular, I've got to say.
The Irish 2-year-olds, I think, have been late comers this year. They haven't been the usual bang, bang, bang from Royal Ascot. I know Thunder Moon is favourite. He was a very good horse, but I thought he was a little fortunate the way the race panned out. And he's obviously the one to beat in there now, but I think both ours have excellent chances if they go on the track. I just dislike the track so much. For 2-year-old, it caught Happy Romance out last week on Saturday, and she hit every ridge on the track, and they can't cope with that very well, 2-year-olds. And she did that first time as well. So it's not just, they'll learn from it. Her first run of her life, she was like that on those ridges. And then in the Chile Park, she was exactly the same. But if they go on the contours of the track, excellent chances, both of them.
How good a 2-year-old, how good a 3-year-old do you think Chindit could be? Would you say he's right up there with the top class ones you've had?
Oh, definitely, yeah. He's very relaxed, and he sort of came along without us knowing, which is always a very good sign. He just does his thing. Never been flashy. I think his toughest race was his first race, and he's come on probably 3 stone since then. 2 anyway. So it's just all been very natural.
And Etonian, you mentioned him right at the start of the season as one, perhaps fit.
On my Unibet blog, yes, because I'm so clever. I got lucky. You can do it once or twice, But we kept working him, and then all of a sudden, he was working okay, and I thought, I don't really want to run him. He's not working like he was. And then we thought, sorry, we sort of have to get on with it now. It's this time of year where these good horses are coming out, and he bolted up at Sandown. And for us to win like that first time, it's not normal. And the way he won the Group 3 was a very, very good performance. I know there weren't the horses in that race that there were in the Champagne Stakes, but he basically did a somersault on the turn, set himself alight, wanted to get out of there and get on with it, had to make a run, and then quickened again, coming in the last furlong and a half or so. So that was a very impressive performance. I do worry about the track. Yes, I do. But that's not something you can practice, and it's not something that you can predict whether they will or whether they won't, but it does worry me, yeah.
And their next door neighbours at home, are they similar characters as well?
They are actually, yeah. They're very relaxed. Etonian's always been a very flashy mover, moves like a dream. And Chindit is not so flashy and does his thing, but he rides into races like he's a man amongst boys. So yeah, they are similar, and they're both very good horses. And it does pain me to think that they're both going to have to take each other on when we could have waited for next year. But both owners want to go to the Dewhurst, and the next logical step for both horses is the Dewhurst. So it's unavoidable, really.
And Etonian, of course, you trained his sire at Olympic Glory. Does he remind you of that horse?
No, he doesn't. You'd be amazed. He's a different colour. He's quite similar in terms of he's very relaxed. He's a different colour. He moves very different, and he's not nearly as bulky, and he was a very thick-set horse at Olympic Glory. And this fella is very athletic and light on his feet.
And both of them, do you see as better 3-year-olds?
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's something you can't really predict, but I don't see any reason why not. Yeah, they're both. Yeah, one's had 3 races, one's had 2 races. I mean, they have been kept with next year in mind, that's for sure.